Hello, everyone. Welcome to Infinite Realms. Bah. Could not resist. Today I'm taking a look at Jada Toys, Universal Monsters, Frankenstein's Monster. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley is my favorite book of all time. The Universal Monster movies are not the Frankenstein from that is not Frankenstein. I will be the first to admit it. But is it fun and it is a good movie? Yes, it is. It's quite fun. So in that regard, I give it a pass. I call it a different interpretation. The best thought I can do of that is compare John Carpenter's The Thing to The Thing from Another World from the 1950s. They are two different movies, completely unrelated almost, except they have the same basic monster. But you watch The Thing from Another World, it's like nothing to do with the John Carpenter movie. And yet it works. So, yeah, you gotta walk into that one realizing you're not watching anything like John Carpenter's movie. But also, one of my favorite comic books of all time was The Monster of Frankenstein. Marvel Comics just did a bang-up job in the 1970s with some of these monsters. I mean, you had Dracula, Tomb of Dracula, and you had Frankenstein. These were cool. I mean, these were cool books, and it was almost a direct sequel to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, in as much as a sequel can be. And then they got into this weird thing where Frankenstein got a lot dumber, like the Universal Monster one, and then just kind of walked for 200 years until he ended up in New York and met Spider-Man. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but I enjoyed the series. I thought it was really fun up until that point, and then it got kind of stupid. But we won't get into that. As far as this figure goes, it's got some fun accessories. It's like got alternate hands. It's got those spooky monster grabbing hands. It's got chains. Those are fun. You can clamp the chains down to his wrists. He has an alternate head that I don't really like. It's just, I think it looks goofy. It's supposed to look angry, but it looks goofy. I noticed the likeness is a little off here. That might be purposeful because there might be a likeness rights problem. I'm not privy to such things, so I don't know. I think he blends in well with the Marvel Legends. And that's why I bought him. I wanted him to be the Monster Frankenstein for Marvel Legends to kind of float around there. I don't know what I'm going to do about Dracula yet, but the Jada Toys one is a little too far into the movie. I mean, this is far into the movie too. That's too far. I need to pull it back more towards a more comic feel. Now, I will say that his platform shoes do kind of make him hard to stand. Now, normally that would be a flaw for a figure, but if you ever watch the old Frankenstein movies, Frankenstein's monster always had trouble walking. I think it was because of platform shoes. But anyway, and just to point out, a lot of people get confused because they think that Frankenstein's monster is Frankenstein. No, the doctor's Frankenstein. Frankenstein monster doesn't have a name, or does he? Little known fact is in the book, while Frankenstein is talking to the monster, he actually says he calls himself Adam, referring to the biblical Adam. And it's hard to say if he was giving a metaphor for what he was, in the light of everything he had been through, or if he was naming himself Adam. Some literary experts argue this point ad nauseum. And I've heard some of the arguments. It's like, wow, one line causes this much discussion. That's impressive. And if you ever read it, it's like first time you read it, you don't even think about it until you know that little controversy exists. And then it's like, wow, okay, fun. So, now why they went with the bolts on the side, I don't know. It looks freaky though. I like it. I mean, it's definitely become iconic. I know that word is thrown around a lot, but let's face it, it's Frankenstein's monster, man. That's iconic. So overall, what do I think about this figure? I really love it. I just think it's so much fun. Uh, I mean, I am a sucker for Frankenstein and the creature from the Black Lagoon. I love both of those films. I love both of those creatures. I think they're just some of the best designed creatures ever, and I just really like them. I have to give this one 4.5 stars. It just looks cool. It feels cool. I mean, it's just awesome. So that's my take on it. Beyond that, hey, it's Halloween. Let's have some fun. Okay, no, it's not Halloween, but let's imagine it is. Thank you for watching Infinite Realms. Don't forget to like and